Today's horoscope for Thursday, June 11th, 2026. All zodiac signs with the day's practical advice. Aries. The moon with Chiron brings a sensitivity to the surface, visible right away in the way you present yourself. This is a useful day if you don't turn the first impulse into the final answer. Venus and Jupiter support your private base, while Mars keeps pressing on money and priorities. The advantage comes from checking one detail before you move. A brief pause before you answer can save you from a correction later, especially if the topic touches spending or timing. Do today. For expenses, requests, or pay, take 1 extra minute and check the detail. The day favors those who move from reaction to precision. Taurus. The day asks you to slow down before reacting. With the moon and Chiron in the private background, the real strength is not exposure, but understanding where an old hurt gets touched, in words, expectations, or small exchanges. Later, the tone shifts, and your body becomes your most reliable guide. What looks minor at first can matter more than expected. So listen to the feeling before you decide how to answer. Do today. If you need to ask, clarify, or suggest something, use a few words and one clear point. With Venus and Jupiter in words and messages, simplicity helps you more than a long explanation. Gemini. The day puts networks, friendships, and shared projects in the spotlight, but also the way you measure what truly has value. The moon with Chiron brings out a sensitivity that shouldn't be hidden behind jokes, while Mercury with Saturn asks you to weigh money, timing, and words carefully. In the evening, the tone softens and it makes sense to close what is still open. A measured reply does more for you than quick wit today, especially if money or a favor is part of the exchange. Cancer. The day brings you face to face with a very concrete theme: how you show up when the pressure rises and you can't hide behind habit. The moon with Chiron in your public role makes a sensitivity visible, while Venus with Jupiter in how you present yourself helps if you keep your tone simple and believable. If you stay grounded, other people can read your intention much more easily, and that reduces friction before it starts. Do today. Use Venus with Jupiter in how you present yourself to speak in a simple, positive tone. One precise question asked without drama opens a better window than a long explanation. Leo. For Leo, the day is more about checking your direction than proving strength. The moon with Chiron in direction and study asks for a simple truth about studies, choices, or the meaning of the step you are taking. At the same time, the urge to look good stays strong, but it works better if you let the facts speak instead of the image. A private task finished well can do more for your confidence than a public display. So keep your attention on what is solid. Do today. Close one small but real task: a reply, a reminder, a private contact, an administrative detail. Quiet work makes you more solid. Virgo. The day exposes the way you handle trust, shared expenses, and emotional transitions. Being correct is not enough. You also need to be easy to read. The moon with Chiron brings a useful sensitivity if you don't turn it into self-criticism. Mercury in tension with Saturn asks for short sentences and checks before you speak. A kind contact can help, but only if it stays simple. Keep your request practical and direct, because the clearer you are, the easier it is for others to respond well. Do today. If someone can support you, write without explaining too much. Venus with Jupiter favors practical support, as long as you ask with moderation and not with anxiety. Libra. The day pulls you into one-to-one dynamics. A conversation, an agreement, or a reply can touch a sensitive spot and ask for more precision than diplomacy. For Libra, the point is not pleasing everyone, but saying with balance where your availability ends and where your position begins. A clear boundary does not make you less kind. It simply gives the relationship something real to work with. Do today. Spell out an agreement or a proposal with 2 simple parts: what you offer and what you ask in return. That is the best way to let Venus and Jupiter work without leaving room for misunderstandings. Scorpio. For Scorpio, this date puts the focus on how you handle daily work, rhythm, and automatic responses. The moon with Chiron brings a delicate point in your method into view, but without drama. One concrete correction is enough to change the tone of the day. In relationships and money matters, restraint works better than an instinctive reaction. A small adjustment in the routine may be the real turning point, even if it doesn't look dramatic from the outside. Do today. If a contact, a cost, or a request leaves you unsure, make a broad but checkable proposal. Venus with Jupiter favors generous tones when they stay simple. Sagittarius. The day shifts the focus to what you share. And for Sagittarius, that starts with trust more than enthusiasm. The moon lights up desire and sensitivity in the first part of the day. Then the atmosphere becomes more practical and asks for a verifiable gesture. If an emotional or practical matter is unclear, it is better to name it without stretching it out. The more honest the frame, the easier it is to keep momentum without overpromising. Do today. If you need to talk about pay, help, or availability, do it with a few clear lines and no wide detours. Venus and Jupiter reward clarity that does not dress itself up as enthusiasm. Capricorn. In the next few hours, the day is not asking for quick reactions, but for a more honest reading of what is moving at home and in your emotional base. The moon with Chiron makes a sensitive point visible, while the day eases up more toward evening. If you stay restrained, choose carefully where to speak and where to stop. A practical answer is better than a perfect one now, especially if the issue is tied to family, space, or a private need. Do today. If an agreement needs to be defined, put one request in writing, without unnecessary softness. Mercury in tension with Saturn works best when the sentence is clean and verifiable. Aquarius. The day moves through words and messages and puts nearby exchanges in the foreground. The moon with Chiron makes one sentence more sensitive than expected, while the support of Uranus and of Venus with Jupiter helps turn a delicate passage into a clear, useful answer. For you, lucidity matters more than speed. A calm rewrite is stronger than a fast reaction, and it can change the whole tone of the exchange. Do today. Cut the text down to 2 concrete sentences and remove anything that sounds defensive or argumentative. In the next few hours, a short form protects the content better and saves you from carrying unnecessary tension. Pisces. The day puts your sense of value in the spotlight. Money, requests, and self-worth are all on the same table. First, a sensitive point comes up. Then what you can say precisely becomes more useful. For Pisces, the best move is to listen a lot, but decide on simple, verifiable facts. The right limit is not harsh here. It is what keeps your energy steady and your choices clean. Do today. Put in writing how much you can give without feeling drained. Then keep it as your reference for the next few hours. A written limit helps you more than a vague intention. Thanks for listening. You can read the full horoscope for each sign on en.milazzo.life.